everyone, welcome to OIA Podcast. My name is Andi Arsana. I'm the head of the International Office of Universitas Gadjah Mada. Today we have a special guest, the head of the Office of Immigration of Yogyakarta, Dr. Andri Indradi. Pak Andri,
Yes,
thank you for coming.
my pleasure, Pak Andi.
We
Likewise.
actually have planned this for quite some time, and you're very busy, I understand.
As always, serving the public.
So thank you very much once again for
Yes.
coming to our podcast.
My pleasure.
It's an honor.
Yeah,
to
thank
have you.
Thank you.
We are going to have a relaxed conversation probably about immigration. We have been working together for quite some time now.
Correct.
It is more than a year, I think.
Yes, indeed.
So I think this is a good time for us to talk a little bit more about the immigration.
Sure.
One thing that motivate this talk is actually because Indonesia is now opening the borders,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
And after around 2 years of closure
Yes.
due to COVID-19, now it's a good news is that we open our borders for our international partners
Yes.
and friends.
Correct. Yeah.
What is your take on this? Like, what is the situation in general in Indonesia at the moment with regards to immigration, probably, or COVID-19? If you
Yeah. Okay. First of all, thank you so much for your invitation, Pak Andi.
pleasure.
It's our honor and it's a pleasure to be here with you and with my colleagues from Universitas Gadjah Mada.
pleasure.
Well, first of all, we have to be thankful that COVID-19 has been gone better in the better conditions than before.
Right.
And we understand that the number of COVID-19 disease had been reduced so far quite significantly. Although now we have a new variant, it's called Omicron.
Right.
It's already entered Indonesia for somehow.
Right.
But from the immigration perspective, I would like to mention that the government already introduced or relaxing its borders for the foreigners.
All right. Right.
And of course, this policy has moved towards a more open borders than before.
Okay. That's
Well,
good news.
the consideration, of course, is based on the numbers of the COVID-19 spreading in the national level.
So the cases, you mean?
And the cases, of course, has become significantly reduced.
Okay. Right.
So the government considered to relax the borders.
Right.
So now we are welcome to have visitors from abroad for a number of reasons. First of all, of course, we need to maintain the economic growth. While the government has to control the spreading of the COVID-19,
Right.
but at the same time, we have to increase our economic development by inviting investors and all those people who might contribute to our economy.
Sure.
So basically, over the last 6 months, the government already relaxed the borders, especially for special conditions.
Right.
So we expect to have more foreigners coming to Indonesia, especially students also.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's good news for international students then.
Right.
Because we are at the Office of International, we have been waiting for
Exactly.
this moment for 2 years, right?
Correct.
For information, we usually deal with around 2,000 students every year.
Yes, I heard about that.
Yeah, in our office, and then now we have very low number.
Very low
so
numbers.
that's of course different. So we are very glad that the government is now opening the borders.
Opening the
So
borders.
thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
With regards to Yogyakarta, right? Because you mentioned about foreigners, investors, students are included.
Right.
How do you see Yogyakarta? Because Yogyakarta is not probably a city with big industries.
Yes.
We might not deal with a lot of investors. That's how I understand.
Yes.
But we are the city of education,
Correct.
right? How do you see this? Like policy will help or will not help us in terms of having our international students?
Right. Good questions, Pak Andi. Well, the angle of perspective that I see here is that immigration function, one of them is to facilitate the growth of the economic development by various ways or channels to contribute to the benefit of the people.
Right.
And education is of course one of them. So by looking at Jogja as the city of education,
Correct.
a city of students, we see that Jogja has a potential degree somehow to become a world-class universities or a world-class education profiles. So in that case, we would like to provide our support
Okay.
to Jogja. We would like to support our contribution to universities in Yogyakarta.
Okay.
And I think Universitas Gadjah Mada is one of the well-known university in the world.
Thank you.
Somehow, and also locally in UGM right now. You should be proud of yourself. UGM may be one of the the first rank of university in Indonesia.
Thank you.
So in that sense, immigration has to support the universities to become the world class university for a number of reasons. So in that case, we would like to give our statement that for now and for the future, we here, immigration in Jogja, has to put our support fully to the universities in Yogyakarta. Of course, not only UGM, but we do have also other universities.
Definitely.
So we would like to have more students coming.
Okay.
But the thing that you should remember for immigrations, on one hand, you need to have the prosperity by having students coming.
Sure.
You're gonna have the tuition fees, and you're gonna have the kos-kosan will be occupied, and the economy will be vibrant.
Okay.
But at the same time, you have to look at the controlling aspects. You have to maintain the order of the existence of the international students.
Yes.
We have to make sure that international students comply to the rules and regulations in Indonesia. We have to make sure that they don't give any threat for the national stability.
All right.
So we would like to see in the future Jogja as a harmony, peaceful city in Indonesia and become one of the leading cities in Indonesia in terms of education. At the same time, we would like to make sure that Jogja will benefit so much for the existence of the international students. So that is the way how I see Jogja. I love Jogja very much for its very tolerant society.
I do too.
Very peaceful. But then at the same time, immigration is about how you balance between the prosperity and also about the controlling.
So the good news for the upcoming international students is that we are open.
Yes.
Jogja is the place. Basically, among all different places in Indonesia.
Correct.
Jogja is one of them.
Correct.
And I think you put it very nicely about yes, we are here to help international students to feel home, and to feel safe. But on the other hand, we also expect them to also respect our rules and laws.
Prevailing laws and regulations.
Okay, that's very good.
Yeah.
So students are welcome, basically.
Of course. Well, the students, international students, international students are welcome to enter Indonesia, especially Yogyakarta. And we will make sure that they will be served professionally, but at the same time, we expect them to respect our prevailing laws and regulations.
Very good point.
Yeah.
In the university, of course, students are one party that we deal with.
Yeah.
We also deal with researchers.
Right.
Because that's also our business. To my understanding, you have to clarify now if I misunderstand this.
Yes.
Indonesia has yet to allow international researchers to come due to this COVID-19. Can you clarify about that?
Yes, I would like to mention that, and on the other hand, we allow students, international students, to come and enter Indonesia for studying in various cities in Indonesia. At the same time, there's some expectations or demands for the researchers to have the same rights. Well, unfortunately, I have to mention here in this a very good occasion that the government has not yet enact any laws to allow international researchers to enter Indonesia for research activities. We do know that the Ministry of Education and the Culture and also Technology had been unified, and they have a special agency. It's called BRIN, right?
Yes, correct.
So now we are expecting to to have the view from the BRIN.
Okay.
Because the way how we see to allow foreigners is how we see the leading sector in the national leading sector to be prepared in accommodating their entrance to Indonesia.
All right.
So the BRIN has to provide, we have to be satisfied by the BRIN proposal to give the rights of the researchers to enter Indonesia.
All right.
If they do have the proposal and they do how to control, they know how to accommodate. I think the government has no objection to allow international researchers to enter. So now I would like to invite BRIN to provide the proposals to the government.
Basically to convince the government.
That
they are ready.
Correct.
Right? Okay.
Yes. So that's my point at this stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Our colleagues from BRIN, I think if you watch this.
Yeah.
But basically, what I want to also to say that's a good point.
Right.
If we talk about stay permit or visa, it doesn't have anything to do only with immigration.
Right.
Because at the end of the day,
correct,
they're not coming here for the immigration.
Correct.
They're coming here to do research,
Indeed,
to do work, whatever. So they have to deal with other institutions like ministries, right?
Right.
So it means that if that particular institution is not ready,
yes,
and then
absolutely right.
Okay, so immigration cannot really do that much about that.
Couldn't agree more.
Okay, so it means that if the researchers are not allowed,
yes,
I cannot really blame you, right? Only.
Well, that's one aspect. Yes, correct. Because again, Pa Andi, we have to remember immigration has a number of multi-layered issues come across to our own core business. We do contact with you guys, the universities. We do contact with the investors. We do interact with the political officers, the securities people, the police, the intelligence. So we deals with the white and the black. So at that point, I think we have to be careful because immigration has always been put in the very gray area. Where at the same time you have people have different interests. And we have to accommodate. That's the thing. Immigration is a facilitator. We have to facilitate the movement of people lawfully.
Lawfully.
So that's the point.
That's very good point that you made. You know, sometimes us from the university perspective.
Yeah.
Because we are sure that if we invite people, they are researchers, they are good people, they're well educated. That's what in our mind. So in our mind is that, hey, why would you, hassle with them? Because just allow them to come. And then now I understand better because you actually deal with a lot of different kind of people. And we really need to be careful about that.
It's good now you understand, Pandi.
Let's go back a little bit. We were also international students once, right?
We were, yes.
We went to the same country. To Australia. So I think somehow with that experience, we somehow, I particularly somehow understand better the situation, why this is allowed, why this is not allowed, something like that. So now let us go a bit further about students now, because that's our main business. It is good to know that they are now allowed to come. The policy is probably now a little bit different compared to like 2 years ago. One, even though we have received like thousands and thousands of students in Gadjah Mada, there's always basic questions coming from our students overseas. They ask, for example, sometimes they're a bit confused. About our system. Say, for example, what is the difference between stay permit and ITAS? Something like that. So because, when you go to Australia, for example, once you have this letter of acceptance from the university, you just apply visa.
That's right.
That's it. For our case, it's not that straightforward. So tell me about that.
Well, thank you so much, Pa Andi, to bring these questions up to the stage. Well, my point is that we have to remember that Indonesia inherited the Dutch legal system, and including the immigration law. So in that particular aspects, the Dutch systems they create when people will live in Indonesia for more than 1 year, they will be considered as temporary visitor.
Temporary. More than 1 year?
More than 1 year. So students roughly will be more than 1 year, right? So I would say that the Kitas is the holder of Kitas. Roughly, they will be staying in Indonesia for at least 6 months or maybe for more than 1 year. So by having that kind of consideration, the Dutch maintain the security aspects. When people will live or will reside in Indonesia for more than 1 year, the immigration office or the local immigration office has to be acknowledged by their arrival. So they know where the foreigner will live, who is the sponsor. So anytime when in the very special circumstances we need the hearings or we need inquiry about the students, it will be much easier for us to reach the students. So that's the rationale behind. So the Dutch systems, immigration systems, for those who will reside in Indonesia for 1 year, they have to approach the immigration office minimum 14 days after their arrival at the airport. They'll be given 14 days. And now I think it's been extended to 30 days. So when you have reached your 14 days, before you have to approach the local immigration office. And the local immigration office will register your visa, convert it into what we call stay permit. So stay permit is a product of the administrative arrangement made by the local immigration office to make the alert system alive. So by having now I know by this date, certain foreigner students coming, sponsored by UGM, stay in Gejayan, will be monitored. Such student. So that's the different purpose, of course. For the purpose of the administrative supervision. So that's the Dutch systems. Whereas in the Anglo-Saxon law, in the common law systems, the US, the UK, and Australia, as we have the experience when we were doing our study, we don't have such things. So when you have your visa,
that's it.
The immigration stamp, welcome to Australia. And that is your stay permit automatically. Yeah. So I'm not gonna say which system is better.
Got it.
I mean, it's not an apple to apple thing.
Yes, I agree with you. Totally but I think this is very, very good to clarify also. Because if they come, for example, from the UK, that is what in their mind is. Once you have the visa, that's it. So it means that they really have to understand. Once you arrive in Jogja, you are not done yet, right? You have to go to the office of immigration office, and then have your visa stamp convert it into
stay permit. It's different though if we talk about tourists. Or people stay in Indonesia less than a year. They will consider it as a normal visitor. They don't need to report their residence to the local immigration office. So that's the different part.
Yes, now I understand it fully.
That's good.
But for that, now we have good news.
Yes, what is it?
Because we have our immigration office in our campus.
Indeed.
Correct?
Indeed.
So it means even though they have to go to the immigration office, it doesn't mean they have to go out because they have now the option to go to the immigration office within our university.
Correct.
Tell us more about that.
First of all, I think UGM should be proud of it. I have to mention that the UKK or the extension office of the immigration in Jogja is the only extension office located in the campus in Indonesia.
Oh, really?
It's only located in UGM and nothing else in Indonesia.
So far, we are the one and only?
The one and only in Indonesia.
Now?
And maybe in the world. I think we never see such thing in Australia, right?
No, we haven't.
So I think UGM should be proud of it. And then what's the rationale behind the UKK or the extension office? So I think, again, I have to go back to my previous statement that we have to support the local economic growth priorities. Since Jogja is an education city, so I think putting the UKK within the campus area is going to be the breakthrough in the public service. Because now the paradigm of public service is how you get yourself closer to the society, right? We have to outreach. We do have to do the outreach.
Yes.
You have to reach certain locations in societies, so that you provide a better service to them.
Okay.
So I think UKK is one of the breakthrough.
Okay.
So international students in UKK,
Yes.
you can do your normal immigration things,
Yes, matters,
which conventionally done at the immigration office. Now you just go to UKK, make things a lot easier, saving time and energy.
That's very good. Just for your information, international students, the immigration office is now within our office, actually, Office of International Affairs. So it is actually there.
Right.
Basically, if you want to see me, you also see somebody from the immigration.
Immigration, yes.
So this is a good thing. Not only for the immigration, not only for the international students.
International students.
You just serve as a normal business, right?
Correct.
Also like passport.
Correct.
Yeah, so
Correct.
Thank you very much for giving us the opportunity.
Yes.
It's an honor for UGM to
Yes.
have this office, because starting from the day the office exists, now the people from UGM, like students, lecturers, employees, they can apply for passport within that office without the need to go to the office. So that's very...
Additional one thing, I think UGM should be proud of yourself.
Thank you so much.
Because yes, we do provide the same service, exactly the same service as we provide in our core immigration office. So I think the UGM people, and maybe in the future, we're going to open up the service for the public. Because I know in UGM is at the heart of Kota Jogja. So I think we also have to be fair that they may also want to enjoy the service from the immigration office.
Certainly.
So you can have the passport service appointment at the UKK UGM as well as other service for the international students and other foreigners.
And my testimony about that is that it's very fast. It's very quick service.
Thank you.
I did it only in maybe less than 15 minutes.
You don't have any other competitors.
Exactly. So once again, thank you very much. It's a good
Our
news
pleasure.
for us. It's good news also for international students. Now, let us, we talk about good news already. Let us talk about the not so good neuse, or the tough one probably for you. You have been in the immigration for quite some times now, for your career. I'm sure that you have faced a number of issues, a number of cases. So with regards to international students, what do you think the cases or the issues that they face usually with regards to immigration?
Well, maybe I'm not really going to be so fun to tell about this case, but maybe since you asked the question,
please.
The common mistakes or the breach of of immigration law, which mostly commonly done by the international students, are mostly there are two mistakes, two immigration violence. The first one is overstaying. Overstaying. I think overstaying is the common immigration law violence for international students. And once we research, we did a little research on this. We conducted an interview to international students. Why you become an overstayers? Well, sir, I love Jogja very much.
Oh, that's a good news then.
That's a good news. I don't blame about it. I have no complaint about it. And what are the other reasons? And secondly, they mentioned that it's COVID pandemic, so I'm a little bit afraid to go to the immigration office and then and things like that. And I cannot go back to my country, since some of them the country had been locked down, so they cannot go back. So we have to be careful when they say that their country has been locked down. Is it just going to become an excuse for them to become overstayers or not? Because they can just simply go to immigration office before the expiry date of their stay permit, and we can find the solutions. Yes, we can
tolerate somehow.
Correct. And again, I would like to mention here to international students, if you have any problem regarding your immigration matters, you can approach the people in OER at the office of Pak Andi, or just simply go to my office to
Right.
seek some advice.
Communicate basically.
Communicate is a simple thing.
Right.
It's a free thing. So there's no need to be hassled on
Okay.
that thing. So I think the first case is overstay, and overstay has to be avoided. Why?
Okay.
Because if you are overstaying more than 60 days,
Right.
you will be deported as soon as practicable.
Oh, wow.
That's what the law says. So if you're overstaying more than 60 days and you don't pay the fines, yes, the penalties fines, then you'll be deported as soon as practicable. That's what the law says.
Okay.
But however, if you are staying less than 60 days,
The overstay less than.
yes, there's some channel or avenue to recover
Okay.
such thing. You can mitigate by paying the fees, the fines,
All right.
and by doing so, we can recover the status of illegal to become lawful again.
All right.
So that's what the law says.
By doing the payment.
Yes, we provide the two camps for the two violence. If you overstay more than 60 days, then you will be in trouble.
Sorry, mate.
If you're less than 60 days, we're going to find the best solution for the international students.
I heard the fine was really expensive.
Correct. The fine is actually regulated by the government regulation. Is 1 million rupiah.
Which is maybe $80? $80 around that?
Yes,
Per
around
day.
per day.
There you go.
1 million rupiah is per day.
Oh,
yeah,
good,
per
okay.
day.
Don't try
So
this.
Don't try this. Don't try this. Be a good student.
Correct.
And again, I think passport, stay permit is it's a personal thing.
Correct.
The same as your body, you have to know the condition of your body, right?
Okay.
Your
Correct.
body
Yeah.
temperature and whether
Do
you are
check every
sick or
day,
not.
like that.
Do check every day regularly by having a look at it, and maybe you can ask also the assistance from the OER office also to make the alert systems.
All right.
So again, we already made innovation, as you
There you
probably aware.
Yes.
We already installed in the OER office.
Okay.
So we provide the system for OER to let the students aware 3 months before the expiry date.
Oh, there you go.
There will be a yellow color in the systems, which allow the international students to be alert.
All right.
And they can approach the local or nearest immigration office, or maybe to UKK
Okay.
to extend their stay permit.
So if I may, just for me to understand better.
Right.
So you have the system already.
Yes.
Where we can input the data
Correct.
of the student's visa.
Yes.
So that the system can give you alert
Yes.
if the expiry date is approaching.
Correct.
Correct? Okay.
Correct. So by having that kind of evidence-based problems,
Okay.
I think the innovation has to be based on the problem. So we made the systems which coordinated by a good office.
Right.
So by now, I think we expect the office will input all the international students' data, and 3 months before we can make the alert,
Okay.
so they can
Okay.
avoid the overstaying problems. And secondly,
Yes.
the problem with international students is working. And of course, working is prohibited.
It's very tempting, don't you think?
It is very tempting. as we already have experience when we in Australia, I mean, students and working is nothing special about it. You can work 20 hours, right, per week.
Yeah.
But
In Australia.
in Australia, but that is not the case in Indonesia, guys.
There you go.
Yeah, you have to remember that the government policy on working is quite strict.
Okay.
They don't want to let people from overseas or international students to work.
Okay.
Considered because simply our local people, they still need jobs.
All right.
They still need jobs, and maybe the job that taken by the international students,
Oh, that's not nice.
will be replaced by the local. So this is kind of our government political perspective at this moment. I'm very terribly sorry to say that international students until now they're not allowed to work. The working is prohibited and it's against the law. Unless they enter Indonesia to become a professional, legally allowed by the government, by certain labor laws.
All right.
But until now, for the international students, you just have to study. That's all.
Okay.
If in other circumstances,
Uh-huh.
they're joining a community
Okay.
or maybe in campus,
All right.
involved in voluntary work.
Voluntary work.
We call it voluntary work.
Okay.
That means they're not being paid.
Okay.
I think that is still allowed.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
all right,
So,
all right.
guys, I know that international students involve in many many aspects. They involve with the
Okay.
social
Right.
activities.
Right. Right.
I think so far, if they're not being paid,
Okay, that's a good point.
they can do it. Yeah.
Oh, I think that's also a
Yeah.
good news because I
It's
understand,
still-
you know, because once again, we were international students and
Correct.
we thought that having experience
Yes.
working in a particular country is also good for us.
Right.
So they have to understand that our legal system does not allow them to work
Yes.
with payment.
Exactly.
But if they want to have experience, like maybe in doing voluntary jobs, I think possibility are still there, right?
Right.
So they just have to be careful and
Yes.
double check
Correct.
which one is allowed and which one is not.
Correct.
Okay, very good.
Yeah. Be a smart student.
Okay, so two things: overstay,
Overstay and
and work.
working,
Okay.
working for students. So those two
All
the
right.
common mistakes.
Okay, now let's go back to their country. Imagine
Right.
students in their country. They want to come to Indonesia for study.
Right.
They need information, right?
Right.
So how can they find this information about
Right.
immigration system in Indonesia?
In Indonesia.
Right.
Okay, there are two things that they can get
Mm-hmm.
the information. First is, of course, they can just browse at the immigration website.
Okay.
We have the formal immigration website. It's called imigrasi.go.id.
Okay.
You can
can see it
find
here.
imigrasi.go.id. It's a formal immigration website provided by the Directorate General of Immigration at the
Okay.
Ministry of Law and Human Rights.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, they can just approach the nearest Indonesian representative
Right.
office overseas. They have the embassies, a
Oh,
consulate
okay.
general, or maybe the Indonesian communities out there.
Oh, right.
But again, I think both ways they can go,
Mm-hmm.
even the Indonesian embassies or the online systems. They both provide the same information. So, if you have
Right.
more chance to go to the immigration embassies, that would be great. You can talk to somebody, and luckily we do have 19 immigration attaches overseas.
Alright,
Yes, so
okay.
from abroad, we do have 19 immigration attaches abroad. If you're lucky, your country, you have immigration attache,
Okay.
you can talk directly to the immigration
So
attache.
meaning that someone from the immigration
Yes.
attached to the embassy
Yes, correct,
or our representative.
correct.
All right.
So if in the consulate general, I worked for the immigration consul
Okay.
at the consulate general of Indonesia in Hong Kong.
Oh,
I've been called immigration consul.
okay.
But if you work in the embassy, they call you immigration attaché.
Attaché, all
Yeah,
right,
it's
all
the same level as the what we call the Korfung, coordinator fungsi. Yeah,
Okay,
so
okay,
it's
okay.
under the ambassador.
All right, all
under
right,
the
all right,
ambassador.
so considered one of the diplomats probably somehow.
Correct.
Okay.
We,
right.
we hold diplomatic passport as
Oh,
well.
there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
But even though you said 19, it's
Yes.
probably it means it doesn't really cover the entire world.
It
It
does-
doesn't mean if they don't have attaché in their country, it doesn't mean they don't. I mean, they're not able to get the immigration information, right?
Exactly. They can just talk to somebody at the consulate. Yes,
or
yes.
embassy.
In embassy, we do have information service in every Indonesian representative abroad. So
Okay.
it's an easy thing to do. So make themselves which one easier for them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And nowadays, especially the world is shrinking
Yeah.
thanks to the technology.
Thanks to the
It
technology.
means that they can also get information from any other sources. I
Yes.
believe.
Yes. Correct.
Maybe one of the last questions that let us talk something a bit relaxed now, not too
Yeah.
serious about
Please
immigration.
do.
We have known each other. We went to the same country for the
The scholarship.
study.
Yeah.
We actually got the same scholarship,
That's right.
so we had a quite similar experience. And now
Right.
you came here actually about 1.5 years ago,
Indeed. Yes.
serving as the
Head of
head
immigration
of the
office.
immigration
Yes.
office,
Yes.
which is I think is one of the, I don't know, one of the busiest probably office in Indonesia. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about this city? You know,
Yes.
Yogyakarta as somebody from the immigration.
Right.
And what would you say about this city to the international students? Yeah.
First, I think I love Jogja very much. I do have a special experience in Jogja.
Right.
You know what, Pandi? My father was also work at the immigration office in Jogja
Oh, there
in
you go.
1986 until 1992. At that time, I was still in the primary school,
Okay.
and also junior high school.
So you were here.
So I attended my primary school and also junior high school, first grade in Jogja.
Oh, there you
SMP
go.
1
So
in
Jogja was not
Kota
new
Batu.
to you then.
Jogja is not new for me.
Right.
So again, I love this city. Very
Right.
peaceful. The people, the food,
Oh, there you go.
the
Okay.
scenery. So everything is great. And 1.5 years, of course, it's a lot of things happening down there.
Okay.
I have to speed up. I have to
Right.
go fast.
You've done a lot of innovation.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. That is to fulfill the demand from the public.
Right.
So if you see Jogja, of course, it's not as big as other provinces in Java, right?
Right.
But again, Jogja is very special
It's unique,
because of the people, because of
Okay,
its status.
Mm-hmm,
It's called Daerah Istimewa,
Okay.
headed by the
So
Sultan.
it has the word special in its name.
Special by its name, right?
Right.
So I think the people also quite special. So in
Okay, I
dealing the
agree with
people in Jogja, we have to be also very careful, right? You don't have to be polite. You have to
Okay.
put yourself down to earth,
Okay, right,
and those kind of local wisdom is something that I think is the art of working in Jogja. While you are maintaining your speed,
All right.
at the same time, you respect the local wisdom. Can you imagine?
Wow.
You have to go fast, but
Yeah.
again, you have to respect the local wisdom in Jogja. So that's
There you
going to
go.
be one of the
Somehow
challenges.
that's quite challenging. Yeah.
It
I
is
can
quite
imagine.
challenging. I have to
Right.
be honest.
Okay.
It's quite challenging,
Right.
but we've made it.
Yeah. there
We've
you go.
made
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So
Right.
I think the leadership will be effective if you work down to earth in this city. So you maintaining a good leader, at the same time, you have to be a good example,
Okay.
for
So
your
leading
staff.
by example.
leading by example.
Right.
So that's the nature of working in Jogja.
Okay.
And how do I recommend Jogja for the international students? Of course, I do fully recommend you to undertake your further study in Kota Jogja. I think there's a lot of things that you can get in Jogja, not only about the study itself.
Okay.
You can learn a lot from its culture, from the people, and
I
a
agree
lot
with
of things. So,
I agree with
so don't miss Jogja. I mean, please choose Jogja for your future study. I do recommend. And yeah, every best of luck for UGM too, to have the international students.
Thank you very much. Wow. It has been,
My
I
pleasure.
don't know, more than 30 minutes that we talked.
I
Time flies
guess,
when we
I
have
guess
fun,
so.
right? All right. Thank you very much once again for very, very insightful explanation that you've given us.
My pleasure.
I really hope that this is not the last podcast that we have.
Sure.
We are going to have a...
I'm looking forward for your other invitation at your house.
All right. All right, viewers all and international students especially, thank you very much for attending or for watching this podcast. We should thank Dr. Andri
My
for
pleasure.
your very, very informative information to us. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.